And speaking of which, I gotta figure out where the heck my brother is. It says he's online. But I don't know if that's just because he doesn't know how to turn off Discord or.
Who are you talking about, Jen?
Sean.
So Sean doesn't have Wi-Fi at his apartment currently.
He doesn't have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, when I talked to him earlier, he was upset because he's like having issues with being able to do schoolwork because he has to wait to go to the computer lab, but there's classes being held in the computer lab until like he said like 8 or something. And he doesn't have Wi-Fi, so he doesn't. Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. I gotta answer Eric because I told him I wasn't available until next weekend. But now that Sean can't do his thingy until the following or 3 weekends, I'm available still. Okay, anyway, well, I guess then we'll just kind of do without Sean since he kind of can't, and Discord sucks. I have tried. It always cuts me off. So I'm not going to to force it into that because he already didn't want to get Discord to begin with. Well, number one, he wanted to play D&D, but then number two, I was like, we're going to do scripture study together, so we're going to have to find a way to do that when you go back to school. And I was like, Discord's going to be easier than anything else, which I guess kind of sold it to him.
We use Discord for our family campaigns, so.
Yeah, I mean, I use it for all of the D&D campaigns I'm in. All right. Well, let's get started, so I don't, fall asleep or something.
All right, so...
I am important.
Last time with the Whims of Fate, we entered the city. It's a lot more open than we thought it was. They allowed our half-elf and human in. Apparently the king of this castle needs healing. After being bedazzled by the material and architecture, the party eventually decided to look for shelter for the evening. And not finding an inn, we decided to stay with this one family's residents who have a Keveldor and may or may not eat Thunderclap.
Either Thunderclap's going to get eaten by the Keveldor, or we're going to be bowing down to our new equine overlords. Because they're going to be best friends.
But we made a grand we made a grand first impression by Idaea causing a domino effect. Quite literally.
And the youngest child of the house deciding that it was a lovely dog pile to jump on top of.
But we were given a very brief tour of the house. Tong was given a map to the bathhouse, and Idaea was given a map to the crafting area. And this week, that's roughly where we pick up.
Cool. Okay, so we've gotten I don't know that rooms had actually been situated. You were just kind of told this is what we have, and then 2 of you were handed maps. So it is up to you guys now what you want to do. The family has dispersed to do their own thing.
I think what we decided was that Breena and Idaea are getting a room. Tong is alone, and the boys are doing whatever.
Yeah, because I know Erdan set his stuff down. Is like, well, whoever puts their stuff in with me is apparently bunking with me.
Idaea will make certain that under no circumstances the door to our room will be left unlocked before she leaves.
Yeah.
Cool. How are you gonna lock it? There's no locks.
There's no locks.
Well,
Good thing to know. Idaea must carry her stuff with her or find an ingenious method to prevent it theft.
By the young by the young girl of the house.
We could trap it.
It being the child?
No, the stuff.
Okay. Sorry, how you phrase that? I'm like, are we trapping a child now? I'm confused.
Only if she springs the trap.
True.
Just saying. I do have Glyph of Warding.
Good point.
Idaea, I don't think that's appropriate.
I didn't say it had to be explosions.
No, but usually when people talk about Glyph of Warning, that's what they are talking about.
Please do not explode our room.
why not? It sounds like fun.
She seems like a very nice lady. I don't want to ruin her home.
We could just create water. That's probably not much better, actually.
Because flooding someone's home sounds like a great idea of hospitality and gratitude.
I mean, it's not like it's made of wood.
The party. Idaea, take your stuff and get out before you get us all kicked out. Must continue to think.
So there are like no locks, no keys.
Somehow that makes me more nervous. You continuing to think on this problem. Hi, Evan.
Oh, there he is. Been just staring at a blue screen for like half an hour.
Was it?
Well, I got on earlier because I saw you were on, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Ivan!" But then it was just blue screen, and you were muted, so I was like, "Oh, maybe he's not there."
Oh, maybe I was in the bathroom or distracted. I don't know.
How's it going?
It's going. I got a raise today.
A raise?
Yay.
Yeah.
Crap.
In this
Say what?
economy?
At the
I didn't
flat
hear
What?
what you said.
What
I can't
did you
hear
say,
you.
Mark?
In this
I was having trouble hearing you, Jen.
Oh, me?
No, I can hear Jennifer. I can hear you guys. But I can't hear Arthur. And
Marco?
yeah, I almost called you Paul. And I was like, that's not right.
You know, that's not half a bad a name.
Just calling Paul now.
Well, I knew it wasn't right, and so I stopped myself. But you know.
my dorm and go and kick you or something. I know where you live now.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Arthur. Like the little green thing's going. Can you like turn people up?
Yes.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Right click
How?
on his camera,
Oh,
and you can check the user volume.
all the way up.
He's all the way up by mine, but he's still quiet as hell.
Because I have a terrible mic.
He's not on
I
mine.
feel like that's probably not a quiet place, Megan.
She's
Turn
door to me.
everybody else down.
Yeah, you can turn others down.
Mhm.
I can mute myself.
Yep.
Deafen? What's deafen do?
Deafen turns everything off. It mutes everything.
It turns you way down now. I can't hear you.
Smooth.
You watch, Ivan.
Hang on. I'll get it figured out eventually. Probably not before I have to go to bed, but okay, Arthur, say something snarky.
Why should I?
Because I can hear you now.
Oh, that's funny.
Now I can't hear you.
Your computer is. You can choose.
It's been a long day, but I got a raise.
All good things.
Yes.
Oh. Are you done with all that crap in Big Sky?
Yeah. And then I got a phone call the other day, and they're like, "Hey, you know those doors?" And I was like, "Yeah, the ones that I was told to throw away." And they went, "Oh," and hung up.
You weren't supposed to throw away the doors.
Say that again.
Apparently, you weren't supposed to throw away the doors.
Yeah, but I asked everybody about them before I threw them away, and the last person said they were wrong and to throw them away. And then the superintendent called me and was like, "Hey, what happened to those doors? We're missing some doors." So they could have been wrong, but they might not have been wrong, and the person might have been mistaken. But either way, they got thrown in the dumpster.
The doors are no more.
Bad doors.
Uh,
No one will be coming from Monsters Inc. tonight.
No one will be what?
No one will be coming from Monsters Inc. tonight.
Oh, hey, they were closet doors too.
even better. um,
I tried to get Tanner to hop on. He had some YSA activity tonight.
mm,
And I can't remember what Patrice said. Hang on.
Oh yeah, she's back.
yeah, haven't been able to get in touch with her yet.
I've just been using Facebook.
I don't really get on Facebook very much anymore. Mostly to do stuff for Minerals, Rocks, Fossil Facts. And to post pictures because I gotta store them somewhere.
That's why you have so many pictures on there.
Yeah, because I can't store them on my computer. I don't have enough space. And I take too many pictures. I still haven't even gotten them all off. I still have a bunch on my iCloud that I want to get off because I want to get rid of it. Because I don't want that anymore. Because I don't use any Apple products. But when I had the Apple phone, it just automatically stuck everything in the cloud. And even with the phone, part of the reason I got the new phone is that the charger wasn't working anymore. And so I can't turn that phone on to get everything off the phone. So I have to pull it off the cloud. So the one good thing about the cloud was that, but it's a very long process. I didn't realize just how many pictures I had stored on there. It's insane. And right now I'm just photo dumping them into a private thing so that I can go through them later and put them into proper
Organization.
Yeah. And the other thing I've been doing is I've been uploading all of the like pictures of animals and plants I had taken onto iNat. So I gotta sift through all of those to put on there and hope that I can remember where I took the pictures at.
If they were taken on the phone, they should have metadata telling you where it was, generally.
Yeah. It hasn't been too much of an issue. There's been some, even just recently, where it's like somewhere along the Wasatch Front, but I could not remember exactly where, and it wasn't really telling me where along the front. It was just like this area, and I was like, that's a pretty big area. And I don't remember going there at that point, so I'm like, are you sure? And then like I couldn't remember the name of the trail, which would have been super helpful. Yeah. Anyway. So we got Breena and Idaea in one room, we got Tang in her own room. Rada's in the stables. So that leaves what, 3 of you?
Yeah, all the boys.
All the boys.
Shared it in circumference.
100.
Yeah, Erdan basically just looks around, finds an empty room, and just dumps his stuff in there.
Okay. Two? Because there's 5 rooms, so I guess if the boys all want their own room, we all have their own room. So I kind of imagine that maybe Tooth is going to force Circumference to stay with him because they are now best friends, according to Tooth.
We are the bestest of friends. I like him. He seems fun.
Okay. Cool. Good. All right. So, I take it Tong's gonna take off to the bathhouse.
Yeah, now just to clarify, there is like no way of like securing the doors, like there aren't any locks. Alright.
No.
Yeah, then she's gonna just take her stuff with her.
Okay.
What way does the door swing?
The
door swing in or out?
like my bedroom door in.
Swings in. Put a stick under it.
But then I can't get in.
Oh. I thought you just wanted to keep people from getting in. Put a stick in it. Oh! I found something else at work. I'll have to remember. Are we still going to meet on Thursdays? How late are you
No.
guys starting?
Next week we're gonna start meeting on Wednesdays.
Okay. I'll have to bring it. I'll have to remember to bring it from work.
Is it a stick?
Is it a stick?
Is it a what?
Is it a stick?
No. Although I have found some pretty cool ones. And a velociraptor in a bathroom.
Right, I think I remember you telling me about that.
I took a picture of it, and then somebody got in there after we'd been in there and took it before we could get it off the wall. So we have no idea what happened to it.
Bummer.
But I found something else. And I did take this one. I'll just have to remember to like bring it back and show you guys, and then figure out what I'm gonna do with it.
Speaking of cool things and bestest of friends, Megan and I accidentally made a friend yesterday, didn't we? I don't know what she's doing. She's not listening now.
We sure did. It was great. She screamed.
I did. But I was thinking about bears, and then a big brown thing moved, and it startled me. And it just turned out to be a baby moose.
Posted where the moose is like, what are you doing there?
So it was taking a nap. We were walking along the trail through the underbrush. I was not paying entirely enough attention because I was thinking about the fact that the only weapon I had was my rock hammer. And we didn't have bear spray. And then he moved because he was like, oh, there's people there. So he like leapt up and backed off. And I was just like, bear in my head. And then I was like, what? No. Not
Moose.
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 And I was like, oh, you're just a baby. You're not even that big. You know, knowing that it's still taller than I am. Don't know where Mama was.
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time that I've heard someone confuse a baby moose for something else this year, I'd have 2 nickels.
Not a lot, but it's great that it happened twice.
Oh, I do smart.
Yeah, someone did that at GeoCamp this year.
I mean, on the bright side, at least I knew it couldn't possibly be a grizzly bear because I'm not in the right state. So there's that. However, this means that climbing trees to get away from them does not work.
So who's following Tong to the bathhouse because she's not waiting for anyone?
But there's anyone.
I think Ern just actually hears bathhouse at some point earlier in the day, completely forgets who's going there, and just literally dropped his stuff on. I was like, you know what? A bathhouse sounds great. I need to clean up. It's been a while. And just accidentally follows Tong.
Okay. So the bathhouse isn't terribly far from where you're at. It probably takes 5-10 minutes to get there through the crowds and everything. Center of town. And it looks like a Roman bathhouse.
Excellent, I already know how to use these. Hopefully they haven't changed in the past 300 years.
I imagine Ern just sees it as like, oh, yeah, I recognize that. Couldn't put their own spin on it or anything. Great. Okay. Going in.
So the one thing you will notice is that there are a few smaller pools around the big bath. And there seems to be steam coming off of those ones.
Now, it's been too long since I took a look at Roman bathhouses.
I don't know anything about them.
Well, there are 3 sections, usually. A frigidarium, a tepidarium, and another one. It's basically cold, warm, and hot.
I thought it was dirty, semi-clean, and clean.
No, that's doing the dishes. At Girl Scout camp.
Didn't they used to put like oil on themselves and like scrape it off in a jar?
Okay. Here we go. So this is what they look like.
I believe something ancient has been put in the ancient and magical world.
Your typical so what you're seeing is wish I could get one with a good, because it's not gonna look quite like that. It's not gonna be quite as
Massive.
yeah. So, oh hey, a D&D battle map.
Yeah.
Perfect. What? What do you mean? Oh, won't let me. Hold on. It says it's too big. Just give me a sec. I'm just gonna share my screen. Okay, you see that in the right corner?
Yes.
Yep.
Gonna look more like that. Still gonna have less baths than that. There's like basically what you're gonna see is like the main one. There'll be like one over here and one over here and one over here. These two are not here, kind of thing, or that one. So you've got these four.
Alright. Do I have to pay to get in?
Yes.
All right, how much?
It says going to be a sec. No. 2 denarii.
2 denarii, so that would be bronze?
And what's the conversion to our monetary systems?
That is the monetary system that. So the funny thing is, they're not even using the Fey system. They're using the Roman system. So that's your bronze pieces. I believe it's your bronze pieces.
Well, I'll just have to make a note of pay to bronze.
They clearly have too many interactions with the humans. They got sick of getting scammed with the silver for gold.
Denarii is the silver pieces.
Oh, silver.
Yes.
AG.
That is
Or maybe they're wickedly cleverly smart. Silver for everything. They can trade it with the Fed for more.
Friends. This is what the denarii looks like. At least one of the denarii.
I don't think I'll keep track.
Can you lick yourself any louder?
Apparently, because we can't hear it yet.
Yeah.
I'm just like over here out of the corner of my ear, all I'm hearing is. He quieted down though, so that's good. He woke me up at like 1 o'clock this morning. He sat on me and then started grooming my chest, and it hurt because his tongue is so rough. I was like, "Can I help you?" All right. Yes.
Well, it's 8:30. I'll try to be on Wednesday. I'll let Tanner
Okay.
know. And tell
Cool.
Patrice to text you, Jennifer.
Huh?
I told Patrice to text you.
Okay. Cool. I will.
Um,
have one.
when are we starting Monday? Wednesday.
Want to try to at least the very latest start at 7:30. Because I don't want to be up late. We usually stop between like 9:30 and 10, so
At least we try to.
I try to. So
Okay.
I'm gonna aim for 7:30. I will be on at 7:30.
So 6:30.
You,
Alright.
Did I just freeze?
you did, and then you glitched.
Oh, cool. Okay. Boy.
See you Sunday.
Night. Sleep tight. Anyway. All right.
Erdan wasn't really being sneaky, was he?
Not even a little.
Oh, what was Erdan trying to do? What was Erdan doing?
He was following Tong.
Oh,
But not being sneaky about it.
Probably
As
not
soon as-
intentionally following Tom.
Yeah, it's probably just he realized, oh, the bathhouse is what'd you say, somewhere in the middle of the city? Okay. I guess I'll head in that direction. And I realized like probably 3 minutes later that oh, Tom's walking over there. And just ended up following her.
So with this proving to be much of a Roman style experience, Tong has had experience with this. She knows what to do, and she is quite happy. Nostalgic even. Nostalgic even.
nice.
Haven't had a good Roman style bath in hundreds of years.
And it's fun because this bath is sparkly.
Oh yeah, everything's diamond.
Yeah.
So yeah, whoever's there, she'll happily
Liquid
chit chat with.
No, everything's made out of diamonds, so it sparkles with the water.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't think there's liquid diamond water.
No. Liquid. No, there's.
That
Do you know how hot? Do you know how hot carbon has to be to melt?
Too hot.
What was it?
Too
for
hot.
this.
1,000 degrees Celsius or something ridiculous like that. I don't remember anymore.
I think you're still too low.
3,550 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
That's
3, 8. They look the
6,000
same.
degrees Fahrenheit.
I was like, what liquid gemstone is there? I don't think there's such a thing. But I could be wrong.
No, there's no.
The closest thing that comes to mind is liquid mercury because it does shine. But yeah, no one wants to be bathing in liquid mercury.
And that's liquid metal.
Exactly.
I mean, technically, mercury is a mineral. It's not a gemstone, but it is a mineral. It's just the only mineral that happens to be liquid at the surface of Earth.
You said that there were 4 baths, bath
Yes.
tubs. Does that mean that are they segregated based off of sex, or is everyone just in the same space?
Doesn't seem to be any segregation anywhere. Um, give me uh, give me a visual. What is it called?
Perception.
Perception.
My brain kept going. Give me a perspective. That's not what you want to do.
15.
So that's enough for you to be able to tell that there are. They seem to be different temperatures. There's one that's bubbling and lots of steam coming out of it. There's one that, as you watch, somebody climbs in. You can see them going, and then they like quickly dunk themselves, and then they're like, and then they get out, and you're like, ice bath, cool.
That would be the
Like
Frigidarium.
they're doing the shakes now. They're like, oh, what? It was a terrible idea. There's one that looks like it's probably lukewarm, and then the big one, there does seem to be steam coming off of it, but it's not bubbling.
Yeah. So
Can I ask why there's a boiling water bath?
the ice water would definitely be the Frigidarium. The lukewarm water would be the Tepidarium, and the warm water but not bubbling would be the Calidarium.
Because the Romans believed in having different temperatures.
High school Latin.
Okay, but when did they believe in cooking people?
The first version of cooking was boiling. Do you not know how soup is made?
And honestly, the way I'm kind of imagining this place is not too dissimilar to Bozeman Hot Springs.
I have yet to go there.
Well, yeah, it's like stupid expensive now. But it was a lot of fun when we did get to go, and the outdoor pools had fun lights in them, so they changed colors while you were in them.
Nice.
And they had a stage, so in the summer they do concerts. Now, I never went in the summer. I only ever went in the winter because who wants to go sit in hot water when the air is hot?
Crazy people?
No one.
Yeah. So I always went in the winter with Ivan, actually, funny enough, usually. A few other friends. Tyrell. That's another one.
Tyrell!
Tyrell.
I went with Kelly once, but I was not much a fan.
I can see
I
that.
didn't really plan on swimming.
I definitely had more fun just sitting in the hot tub.
I didn't plan on being in the water, which was part of the problem. It was one of those, how did I get here moment.
Whoops. Yeah, it might have been a lot more fun if you had been planning to, like, actually get in the water.
Yeah.
If it had been an actual plan and not a... What?
I'm now here. Why am I here?
Yes.
Well, that does tend to happen with Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of...
It was Kelly's birthday.
Speaking of birthdays, it's Hermione Granger's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose at this point she's Hermione Weasley, so...
Hermione Granger Weasley. Did you know that she would totally do that?
That's a mouthful.
Or maybe it worked like the pawns.
Wrong Granger.
I can also see that being the thing.
Alright, so I'm assuming that Erdan also pays the fare to get in. Once we're actually
Like,
through it.
first hearing it's like, oh, jeez, that's expensive. The like fishes out like like 1 silver and like a bunch of bronzes to make an equivalent amount. Like, oh boy.
Him at the door is just looking at you like, really?
I have a feeling this is the equivalent of pain in pennies.
Or like turns out it's like, look, when you're paid in tips, this is the best I got. Sorry.
Elves.
Minstrels. Yeah, talking like minstrels.
Well, the running joke is that elves are racist. So obviously you have to be racist back.
Oh no, like once Ern pays and he's let in, he's like, ooh, self-burn, those are rare.
They're not elves, they're fairies.
Ah, double racist.
So
Right.
I think you also came here for a bath and are not just following me because you don't trust me.
What? Oh, yes, yes, I've come for the bath. Wait a minute, back up. You thought I didn't trust you?
Absolutely brushing the question aside. So do you have experience with this type of bathhouse, or do you need a tutorial?
I think I went in here I think I went to a place once. There's like 3 different temperatures or something.
It looks like this place
Free
has,
for all for where you go.
well, there's generally an order that you do things here. Come on, barbarian, let's go.
I think I like God Pond better.
Te non romanos es. Te non romanos es. Barbaris es.
Anything that isn't Roman is
He
a
said
barbarian.
that you're not Roman, you're a barbarian.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that in character, like, or it's like, wait a minute. If I'm not a Roman, I'm a barbarian?
Itavero. Yes.
Close. Close enough? Okay.
That was their general view of things. If you weren't a citizen of the Empire, you were a barbarian.
Oh, I noticed.
I
I guess that explains the dirty looks I got the last time I did this.
Dave the Barbarian. Anyone else watch that?
What was that?
Dave the Barbarian.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure.
It was on Disney Channel for a very short time in the early 2000s.
That's probably why it sounds familiar, but I don't think I actually watched it.
You're probably too young.
It was like D&D before D&D was cool. Because you had your barbarian, and then his sister was like a wild child, and then his uncle was a wizard, and he had a pet dragon.
Yeah, no, you lost me. Like the sound, the theme song that you're singing sounds familiar, but I don't remember the concept.
Old.
Oh yeah, and then his other sister who was like oh.
We're now being introduced to Dave the Barbarian.
Yeah.
That looks familiar.
Oh, that. Yes, I do remember that, and I didn't like it.
I thought it was so funny. It was so stupid.
That's why I didn't like it.
It was like Phineas and Ferb before Phineas and Ferb.
I'm going to beg to differ on that. I think Phineas and Ferb is far better than that.
Phineas and Ferb had time to develop. This one didn't really.
Alright. So, Tong is going to run through the Roman-style bathing process with Erdan. It's been too long since I've taken a look at how thermi work. Well, she is being very matter of fact about the whole thing. And though I think Erdan's passive insight would be high enough to notice that when she's not instructing you on how this whole thing works, she is enjoying herself. Yeah. Getting all the frog spit and vomit out.
Yeah. Aaron's whenever she's telling him anything, it's like he has undivided attention.
And I suppose at this point, since we are more or less bathing together, you would see the burn scar that is like right here also extends to most of her left side, like down the leg, almost to the foot.
Yeah, and she in turn would be privy to like various scars and like an occasional divot across Ern's skin, except for his left leg, roughly just above the knee, where it is a physician's nightmare. It's healed, but it looks like it was through a wood chipper at this point.
It's healed, but it probably shouldn't be.
How it functions, nobody knows.
Sounds painful.
Mm-hmm.
Was all this from a single event, or was this an accumulation of things?
Oh, this is an accumulation. He'll point to his toes like, I lost those to frostbite about 7 years ago. I lost that chunk of foot to actually I almost lost that chunk of foot to piranha at one point. Let's see here. This part of my calf, it was from a wolf. This part of my ankle, that was from a fox. Actually, a couple of foxes. Even the kids attacked. That was terrifying. See here.
That's done something
this
terrible
section
to get the entire family to attack you.
I just put my foot in a hole.
Well, there you go. You're invading their space.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, let's see here. This part of my thigh here, it still has that scarring because of a duel at one point. I almost lost all my blood that day. That was fun. Let's see here. And the kneecap is
Is this a moment where it's like, oh, it's a good thing I'm friends with the people I'm friends with. Otherwise, this would have been a bad day.
We're finding out that Erdan has always had plot armor.
Damn it, just like Ernest always
As
like
soon as
half
he found
me.
out, he took full advantage.
No, he's just been through a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, basically. Like, he's been alive for 30 years and just has an unlucky left leg. And the patella is actually slightly lower than my right one because it was actually torn off by a bear and I had to reattach it. Took a bit of magic to make sure it stayed, but it took a while before I could actually get the druids to help me out on that one.
How are you still alive?
I
No one
don't know. Genuinely have no idea. It's only recently that if it's divine intervention, it's only recently that the gods have made their presence known.
So the nickname of Godpawn is more accurate than it normally is.
Yes.
Okay.
But since we're sharing old
Apparently
scars,
been
how
through
did that
enough
burn
stuff to
happen?
give Rhiannon and Nimue combined a run for their money.
I'm just waiting to watch the two of them. It's like, no. I helped him last time. It's your problem this time. It's like fighting back and forth over which god's responsibility it is to get him out of whatever scrape he's in this time.
It's like all the most powerful ones are like, okay, who's how are we gonna fight over this time?
Like we're drawing lots to see who has to go and help him, and who gets out of it.
I imagine like the last time it happened, they had to play a full game of Monopoly.
No wonder it took so
Whoever
long.
won had to save him.
So, out of curiosity, Marco, what is Erdan's passive insight?
14.
Just barely passed.
Yay.
Um, she will have a calm exterior and say, a fire and a paladin. That's all I will say. Some memories are too painful.
I understand that.
And from that point on, it's awkward silence.
Ern only lets that last for a minute before he then turns around like, so do you like music or something?
You like jazz?
Why do you ask?
Well, I've been playing it for while we've been traveling, I've been kind of playing it, and nobody really tells me if they like it or not. So I don't know. I was hoping, I don't know, since you seem to be the type of person who doesn't say anything but has a lot of opinions, I thought I'd ask you.
Now, is this on music in general or your music?
Both.
I do have a passion for music, so I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a skilled player. I am proficient in the instrument that I play. It's just that I don't seem to have the charisma to necessarily pull off a well-performed performance. As for your music, it's, well, honestly quite strange. Don't really know how to put it into words. I mean, I don't even know what that thing is.
Oh, it's called a banjo.
Right, and I think I seem to have heard at least Breena mention that it comes from Atlantis.
It does.
That's where we get bluegrass.
songs are familiar. At least the folk songs are familiar and pleasant to hear, though it is strange to hear it in that particular range.
Yeah, it does sound a bit weird, but you kind of get used to it and kind of get into it, actually. I get a little creative with how many strings compared to, say, a lute.
Yes, and usually with lute strings, they're made of tendons. What's the material of the strings on that banjo of yours?
Judging by the smell, I think it's metal.
I'm sure Idaea would have a field day with that.
I'm surprised she hasn't torn apart yet. I'd prefer if she got the extra strings I bought rather than the actual instrument, because I do not want to have to both somehow get back to that island and then pay another 50 gold.
They even realizes that there are metal strings on it.
Be honest, Jim, let's keep it that way.
Somewhere Idaea sneezes.
Halfway through forging something.
Bless you.
Wait a minute.
Idaea, the perceptive cleric, but also oblivious cleric.
Dad is that person that you're pretty sure isn't paying attention until all of a sudden she brings something up and you're like, wait, you were listening?
Speaking of Idaea, where did you... I got the impression that she was not one of your original companions. Where did you pick her up?
I think it was Chernanog. Yeah, she was trying to get into. She was trying to get her way onto the island we just left, but she tried to get in through the druid's portal, which wouldn't have let her. And she kind of just stuck around.
Kind of like a lost dog, you would say.
The dogs are a little more attentive to what you want. She's more, oh, this is mildly interesting. I guess we'll go this way.
She's a
So
cat?
I guess more like a cat?
Maybe. Sorry, this is just my like. Now I'm wondering what animal I'm equated. What animal Erdan equates Breena as? Especially with how many animals I seem to collect, I'm wondering what he's thinking. But only if it actually comes up in conversation do you have to do it here. I'll ask you later, if nothing else.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. Idaea being a cat. I suppose that makes sense. Now I have to come up with a creative name.
Oh no.
The only ones that I know for sure is going to be Legless Lizard. What else are they going to have Ron be? And she looks like she's like deep in thought and something entirely different.
Yaren's just like, oh, it appears she has left both the room and the island.
Meanwhile.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what are the other
There
elves
isn't a
doing?
single rock on this island, is there?
What about this island?
There is not a single rock on it. Is there?
Like a regular rock. Not one of the pretty ones, just a regular rock. A plain old rock.
Chunk of silicate.
Not that you've noticed.
Except for the one in your shoe.
Yeah, so pretty much you've only seen the one mineral and you haven't seen much else.
I'm debating if Idaea has the skill necessary or if it would even be physically possible to turn a large chunk of diamond into a safe, given enough time.
Oh, it takes a long time.
I think you're asking a little much there, Idaea.
Because if I could fabricate one.
Your dice are over on your desk. Have fun.
But the problem is that I'm not sure that that's actually all that feasible.
Probably not, because you do have diamond tools, but they are small diamond tools that are meant for like inlaying things, not for building a cabinet.
No. A large chunk of metal, but I don't have one of those. Well, I guess I have a very large chunk of manganese, but I'm not sure that that's actually a good safe material.
If anything, I think that would make it more stealable. Just because of the novelty.
It's also quite explosive, if I remember correctly. Maybe not explosive.
Yeah, why don't you give me we're gonna say it's a craft check, because this would be like in your expertise. Would you know whether this would be good for that kind of thing or not?
For Idaea?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is.
I'm not too worried about that, but that's also going to be famous last words. Just watch.
Let's say your dice are on your desk or you have stuff on your phone.
13.
Okay. So we're gonna start with, because you work with metals and stones, you have become familiar with the hardness scale. Now, obviously, it's not called Mohs because Mo has not been born yet. But you are familiar. Manganese is about a 6, so that's actually not bad. That's a pretty sturdy metal. All things considered. You know that it's fairly dense. I lost my spot. You also know that it's fairly good at conducting electricity, which may or may not be a good thing because it may cook whatever you keep inside of it if you turn it into a safe.
I also know I only have 20 pounds of it.
I would also say that there was one incident with someone else back home where you all discovered that maybe ingesting manganese is not the best idea and that it causes some wonky things in the brain. So you
Oh my.
definitely shouldn't be keeping any food in there.
Erdan can just cast Purify Food and Water on it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
No, I think he'd have to do cure poison and disease.
You also know that it's very brittle and difficult to fuse and that it oxidizes pretty easily, so it's not necessarily stable on the surface.
Yeah. It's an alkali
And
metal, isn't it?
if you were to pull it out and look at it now, it might even be showing signs of oxidation.
So I might want to keep it in one chunk so that the inside doesn't oxidize.
Probably.
Actually, yeah, you probably pick it up and it's like some of it actually still gathers on your hand because it oxidized.
Honestly, you probably want to stick it in a bag of holding where there is no oxygen.
To be fair, that's probably where it's been living, so...
Yeah.
You know, it's a great idea if we just find a body of water and throw it in.
Well...
4 allotropes.
I mean, if we have to battle something in the water again...
Use Tooth's trebuchet if we needed to. Load the trebuchet. No, Tooth, not with you. We have to put the manganese in there. Tooth grumpily gets out of the trebuchet. Aww.
You can't swim anyway.
I know.
Tooth just stays in the trebuchet and reaches for the manganese.
So what do you would do?
Okay, well... I still have not come up with a good idea for creating a safe. The manganese was about as close as I got.
How long have you been sitting there thinking about this?
5 or 10 minutes.
I was going to say, probably long enough for her to not realize the two of you have left.
And that at least one of them didn't even bother thinking about where her stuff is going.
Probably even long enough for Tooth to stick a rock in her shoe.
Idaea seems like a perfect victim for that because she's probably lost in her hyper-focused thought enough that she doesn't even notice until she's like, oh, what the heck is that? And he's already long gone by that point.
She just starts walking somewhere and she goes, wow, what is stabbing me? What is this?
Right.
Actually, you know what she's probably gonna do? It's like,
it's not a diamond. Where did this come from?
Dude just has like an endless supply of rocks in his bag of holding.
You pull me a boulder out of there?
Encourage him. Idaea, why do you need a boulder?
So I can turn it into a safe with all the stuff inside.
Or you can just carry your stuff with you.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that's the best solution.
Let's get you to go talk to people. Because I don't know. I have to admit, I don't know what Breena's doing. No idea. But I'm pretty sure Breena's like just kind of watched Idaea as she's contemplating, trying to think. It's like, okay, well, if the daughter of the family is a thief, I probably won't be leaving my stuff in here. But I'm kind of like looking around the room to try and like signify that we've taken this room so that other people don't come in and grab it. And so find like maybe something in my bag that I don't mind losing if the kid decides to steal it. Like I have some paper from Atlantis. I'll fold it into some little boat or something. Maybe not a boat. Maybe not a boat. Not a boat. Not a boat. Not a boat. Why did I say boat?
He is grooming his toy. I don't know why he does this. But he'll be doing it for a while.
He's a special cat.
Because the toy can't do it himself.
How thoughtful.
Very thoughtful, Albus. Yeah,
Grooms his
so
toy.
not a boat. Not a boat. I'll do a bird. Grab out one of my pieces of like lined paper that I got in Atlantis and just start folding it into like a little bird so that I can set it on my bed so that I know that this is Breena's bed. The first thing that came to mind was a boat. Then I'm like, wait a minute, no, I would not be folding a freaking boat ever, never in this campaign. No.
Even
Breena
traumatized.
probably likes boats, except for the boats that have been a part of this campaign.
Oh, okay. So probably what happens is that like I start folding a boat and then like, no, smooth paper, fold it into a bird, because like just the thought of like party and boat, I don't want to jinx anything. She like Brina just folds her little bird and sets it on her bed. It's like okay, and then like looks over at Idaea. It's like nope, she's still standing there. Oh look, there's two. Don't. Never mind. Like I've seen like Tang and Erdan head down the hallway. It's like okay, well, I'm just gonna carry my stuff. But now I've indicated what bed is mine, and I'll.
As if Idaea ever actually cared.
And people than you, but at the same time, it's like, and I'll tell Idaea when she's not in a trance.
I mean, does
I'm just
Idaea
about to
even
keep this
consider
shit
like?
here.
Does Idaea consider like even taking like her chainmail just armor? Be like, wait a minute, this is metal.
No, she values it a little too much. I mean, I probably could fabricate it back, but it just wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't have that secret good luck spot.
So yes,
It wouldn't have the pocket for the light rock.
Nope. That all important light rock pocket.
after many minutes of deliberation, and finally after Breena's suggestion, Idaea just picks up all her stuff to follow the map.
Okay. This is even closer than the bathhouse because who wants to have a long commute from work? No one.
Anybody who lives outside of Seattle.
I mean,
They don't want it. They just can't afford multi-million-dollar homes.
yeah. Yeah, that's basically what that comes down to. What was I gonna say? But yeah, it's not too far. The forge is the forge. It's more like a big gem cutter's shop. But it's like a warehouse because they're not cutting little gems, they're cutting like walls and doors and furniture. You know, big things out of diamond.
I'm guessing they make Idaea's tools look very small and insignificant.
Oh yeah, and all of their tools are made out of diamond too, so they're cutting diamond with diamond. And I mean, their tools look familiar. You know, they're using it looks like they're using swords in a way to cut some of this. Basically giant knives. And you can tell that I'll kind of just give this to you because of what you do, but you can tell that they're propagating cleavage planes to get the facets that they want. for whatever it is they're making. One of them will spot you. It looks like an older. You think it's a gentleman? It's really hard to tell these fairy folk apart. They've all got long hair. None of them seem to have any facial hair. And they all seem to dress fairly similarly. It's like they're all dressing to show lots of their opalescent skin, but also not like accentuating any body parts underneath the clothing. It's kind of weird. But you think this looks like an older gentleman who's coming over. And when he speaks, he does have a deep voice, so you're like, yes, this is in fact a man. And he goes, can I help you? Did you need to place an order?
No, well, can I place orders for knowledge? I've come to seek, well, the amazing things that you do here. It's very different from everything else. It's fascinating.
I was gonna place orders for knowledge.
Nice. All right, he got a nat 20. He looks you up and down and goes, you're one of those metalsmiths, aren't you?
I do metal, make swords, I do jewelry. I know a little bit of masonry as well.
It's not quite as delicate as the work we work on. Show me some of your work so I know that you're not going to break something.
Let's see here.
Don't show him that necklace. Don't bring it out. Show him the one that you built. Show him the necklace you made for the wedding.
Yeah, Idaea looks around and she's like, Erdan's not here. He has the sword. And
Actually,
then,
Erdan left his sword.
well, Idaea didn't take it with her.
As far as she knows, Arden has a sword.
So she thinks that the necklace next, but it's kind of buried away. But and kind of as she's thinking about rifling for it, she's like, and she holds up the amulet that she's still wearing, the gold amulet with the what red gemstone did I have in the center of it?
Was it a garnet?
I'm guessing it was a garnet. I think the ruby was too expensive.
Yeah, the ruby was too expensive, so I think it was a garnet. Breena followed Idaea more to know where she gets to fetch her from later. And also because she's not quite sure what she wants to do yet in town, so she's like, mind hiking along after Idaea?
This dice. He doesn't really look impressed. He kind of frowns at it and he's like looking it over and he's just like, have you worked with anything more rare, delicate?
Idaea pulls out the necklace. And is it like, at the very least, this thing likes to give me in hardship, but I'm gonna get it working. the wild magic crystal necklace.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking a little more mildly impressed. But he just kind of go, yeah, put that away before you hurt someone.
Idaea puts it away again, and she's like, I made a sword in the Atlantean style, but I gave it to one of my other party members, and he has wandered off. But he's around here somewhere.
If you'd like an eyewitness for the sword, it's very well made. And she gets dedicated to whatever she's working on. You have no idea how many nights we've watched her working on that wild magic necklace.
What is your knowledge on diamond work?
No, you need diamonds to cut it. I got these handy little. I mean, the Atlantean who gave them to me had been using them for a long time, but she pulls her diamond jeweler's tools out, and no, you need diamonds to cut them. And I've been waiting to try. I just haven't until like you out a day ago had any diamonds to try it on.
So the man's expression doesn't change at all, but you hear somebody off to the left just like trying really hard not to laugh as he looks at your tools, and he starts like choking because he's like trying. The guy you're talking to just kind of rolls his eyes and looks at the other guy. Okay. And then he just kind of like folds his arms. He's like, "All right, I need you to convince me why I should teach you anything, outsider."
Uh,
Has Idaea even encountered this before?
Idaea is speechless. She doesn't know what to
I'm
do.
trying to think what Adea would say here. Like, Adea's not very good at selling herself, and she tends to give things away all the time. She's very dedicated, but I'm trying to think what would Adea say in this moment? Like,
please.
Huh?
Can I give her bardic inspiration on this? I don't know if that actually works because it's not really a roll. It's more of her.
suspect I'm about to have to make a roll.
Be like a flavor text thing. What are you going to do to give her the inspiration? Or what are you going to say is more important, because bards, it's all about the words, right?
Yeah.
That's how you weave magic. So you'd have to say something that would inspire her to be able to say something herself.
Okay, remind me again of the craftsman question. Just to convince him why he should teach her anything.
Yeah.
Because she's an outsider. Okay.
No, he just called her outsider, not.
Okay.
And you can tell that he's saying outsider not because she's foreign, but because she is not a diamond cutter. Like, he would say that to one of his own people if they were not a diamond cutter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the attitude he has. He's very proud of his work, and you can see it in the way you can like hear it dripping from his voice.
This is his child. He's very protective.
This is baby.
I'm giving you the opportunity to say something before I give my answer.
Like as Breena like watches Idaea contemplate, she's trying to think of a way to be able to inspire her, because she knows Idaea has some mildly chaotic energy. Yes, feel free to laugh at me for the mild part of that. But at the same time, I know she has a good heart. Just really enjoys wanting to learn. Like, Idaea, Chris's mom entrusted you with those diamond tools, and now you have an opportunity to learn them. Learn how to use them. Granted, they're on a different scale here than they are where we're at. But you've done amazing things already with Erdan's sword. The bright part is a fantastic looking sword. You're a master of your craft. Knowing you, all you want to do is become more masterful at more crafts.
Oh my gosh, she's a DIY mom. Idaea would have a Pinterest.
She would. I don't know what it would take to make a Pinterest that looked like what Idaea would make, but I feel like you are right. Idaea looks
Running
him
out of
square in the
space.
eye and is like, I'm the most dedicated free labor you will ever receive. I take myself seriously in my craft.
Okay. So I'm gonna need you to do a persuasion. Take the bardic inspiration.
Is it a D4 or a D6?
It is not that you cannot do it, Idaea. It's the fact that, frankly, you're not given enough opportunities to prove it.
I'm usually trying to find funds for the next project.
Wait a minute.
Are we to D8s yet?
That's what I'm thinking. What is my level?
You're a
I'm
level
level 8. So yeah, D8.
Is 29 good enough?
Yeah, it's good enough. I only rolled a 13.
I've got a plus
I
9 to
see your-
persuasion.
I see your 13 and I will double it. What did you even give her the bardic inspiration? Like, did
I
you
got a 4.
You didn't even need it.
It's really
He,
helping attract her.
his facial expression completely changes when you say free labor. And he's like, okay. Delwyn, this one's yours. Teach her what you can.
Delwyn, isn't that Mr. Cadweller's name?
It might be.
Pretty sure that is.
Also, 'cause I don't want to come up with another name.
Well, you should have names at the ready. The name queen sees you. Rar. Yeah, Delwyn's head of the family. So this is our host.
So a younger man will walk over. He's got his hair pulled up until like a big old messy bun on the top of his head, but it doesn't look like he's kept it very clean. There seem to be like diamond shards just like all over in it. And he's got like this fine coating of this sparkly dust all over him. And he just kind of nods and he's like, hi, Dylan. And you are not
Idaea.
from here. Idaea. All right.
I'm Breena. I won't be sticking around, but I will be seeing you later because we're staying at your home. You're Mr. Cadweller, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Your wife gave us the map of how to get here, so.
Ah, okay. So, you've cut gems before?
Much smaller ones, but yes.
All right. Well, everything you think you know about gem cutting, forget it. Diamonds are not the same.
That's an understatement.
As he's starting, I'm just going to like pat Idaea on the arm. It's like, I'll see you later.
Idaea is listening very attentively.
Yeah, like I don't even. Breena doesn't even expect her to acknowledge her. It's like, I'll see you later, Idaea.
Can
Thank you
Breena
very
even
much.
reach your arm?
Huh?
Can Breena even reach Idaea's arm?
That's a good question, actually.
I'm 3'6".
Probably
Idea
around the
six
wrist,
too.
maybe.
Yeah, I get her wrist. Like, I'll see you later, Idaea. and like, I'll try and be gracious to the people that are there, and then just somewhat I'm trying not to be awkward because this is not my area of expertise. But I do admire what they do, and so it's like, I'm going to see you later. Enjoy learning. Bye.
Idea's sponge
Right.
mode has been activated.
So
Their sponge mode has been activated.
Idaea is attentively listening, like it might almost be eerie how closely she's paying attention.
noted. Breena, what are you doing?
I have no idea.
Just to do a very short side tangent, if the heights that I remembered are correctly, Breena would go up to Idea's hand. It just standing there.
Okay, so somewhere like if I'm reaching up above my head, like probably get like maybe her wrist, the forearm area.
The highest
Yeah.
I think you can reach is probably her elbow.
Yeah, I'll probably just reach over and like pat her forearm. Please do not use the visual image of me patting my husband's arm as an indication of Breena's height, because obviously we are not those heights.
Stand up.
I haven't.
Sometimes I just like to make things difficult.
That's okay. But no, I don't necessarily see it as making it difficult. I see it as helping to imagine what the scene looks like more clearly. So I get it. That's fine.
I'm a storyteller. I gotta have all the details. Yes. For free. All right. So Breena,
exactly what that is.
do you want to go like explore the town? Do you want to head back to the house?
I think I'll probably explore the town a little bit. Just
Okay.
like, okay, left Gem Nation here. So I'll probably head back towards the middle of town where I saw like the different shops and stuff set up and just kind of wander around in there.
All right. What is your
So-
passive perception?
My passive is 11.
I wonder how long these they live.
Yeah, that's
What
enough.
would they-
You're wandering through town and looking at all the interesting stuff they have. And trying not to be blinded by all of the glittering diamond.
Mm-hmm.
You catch a couple of teenagers, or maybe they're young adults. Hard to tell. And one of them, you just hear them going, it's like the weirdest thing. Like I had the weirdest dream. I had this dream that I just had this intense hatred for someone or something, but I can't remember what it is anymore. And I don't know if that's just because I can't really remember the dream, but it felt so real, like I've forgotten the part of me. You know what I mean? The friend's like, no, I don't know. Well, I don't know about the dream, but I get what you mean about like feeling like you've lost a part of yourself, because I swear that there's something at the back of my brain that I've just like forgotten. You know, kind of like when you go into school and you find out there's a test that day and you didn't study. But not, I don't know, it's weird. But I definitely feel like I've forgotten something. And there's lots of likes and oh my gosh, as they're having this conversation.
Well, that's not normal. Oh, maybe it is normal here.
As you continue, you see a couple of older gentlemen look very old. And if they're fairies, they're probably really old. And they were just like, One of them was going on, back in the old days, we didn't let these strangers into our town. And the one's like, I don't know, I feel like we always have. The other one's like, no, you've just forgotten. The old fart. Can't remember anything. We used to hate these people. Just like them damn kids who were getting it up in our yard. The other one's like, nah, I don't think I've ever hated anyone. Yeah, except my mother-in-law.
It occurred to me that Idaea might just be like a baby to some of these fairies. Like, she's only 17.
Oh yeah, no, these fairies.
Walking infant because of my height.
These fairies could live a couple thousand years. So when I'm saying this, guys, these men are old. They are old.
The amount of times that we've been stranded on an island where the inhabitants are extremely old and rock themed.
What? As like I like rocks or something.
It's like rocks are metaphor for long lasting.
Look at what they're made of. We've got diamond people. We've got obsidian. I mean,
Yeah, except obsidian's not a mineral. It's a glass.
It is, but it still can make a rock. Because rocks are aggregates of minerals and glasses.
And now we delve into a geology discussion.
Don't fight me on this. Next, you're going to find the Corundum people. And the males are red and the females are blue. For those who don't know, Corundum, you have Corundum is both rubies and sapphires.
Yeah, because it's like it's a one mineral difference that that makes the color different.
It's an impurity.
Mineral.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
I'm not going to approach the older guys just like I didn't approach the younger people because I'm just kind of wandering through town, especially with what the older men said. I'm like, I'm going to not provoke potential hatred.
I feel like if Amber was here, he might notice how strange it seems that half of them seem very, very friendly and half of them feel like they're missing something and like they should really hate something or maybe us. But Amber is not here.
I know. It'd be super helpful if Amber were here because he would notice all the things that I'm throwing out there.
But instead we have Idaea who is just happily inserting herself everywhere.
And Breena, who's wandering around gathering the stories, but not exactly sure of all of their implications.
I will say, Breena, you probably hear a half a dozen other stories that are very similar to those, where people are just like, I have the weirdest feeling that I have forgotten something, and I'm going to get home and realize it was like the shopping list or something, and I'm going to be really annoyed. Or, it's like, did I remember to go to all my classes today? I don't know. Something's wrong. Or it's like, I feel like I had a brother, but maybe I'm just making shit up. I don't know. So you get a lot of things like that. But I will also say, let's see. Erdan and Tong, what are your passive perceptions?
14.
Tong 16.
Okay. You guys will be getting more or less the same conversations at the swimming pool, but you're going to be catching a little more. And it'll be things like, so you're sitting in one of the pools and there's a couple and they're having an argument about when their anniversary is. And she's convinced that it was like 4 years ago. But he's like, no, I'm pretty sure it was like 10 years ago. But they can't seem to agree. They're not getting upset with each other, but it's like, for some reason, they cannot remember when they got married. And it's weird. Like, they cannot remember anything surrounding their wedding. Like, who was there? Where did they hold it? What venue? You know, what food did they get? Who catered? You know, they can't remember things like that. You hear someone in passing saying, I don't know how old I am because I cannot remember when my birthday was. Like, I know it's this day, but I could not tell you what year. It's like there's a gap. And you repeatedly hear, there's like this gap, this gap, this gap.
Yeah, I imagine Ern becomes far more aware of it once Tong starts trying to think about animal characters for some reason. Who knows? As Ern starts like this around, like, oh no, this doesn't sound right.
Oh no.
I was gonna say, like, this doesn't, like, as I'm walking through town, Breena's just like, this is making me think of our experience with the weird dream and the time travel and and needing to go to Turnanog, but it seems slightly different. But this doesn't feel good. Like, something feels wrong here.
My skin's starting to crawl.
Yeah, it's like, no, no.
But that seems like a familiar experience to many members of this party.
You're not even there. You're learning different.
Idaea is not familiar with this experience.
Well,
She would not be making any sort of connections. She's just like, oh, that's weird. Everybody here is suffering from like long-term memory loss.
What's a missing birthday compared to how to carve a door just right?
Meanwhile, everyone else is getting the eerie, something's not right here.
But at the same time, Breena's also like, I know they said that their king was sick. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
We have our next mission, guys.
That's literally next thing on Erdan's list of things to do. It's
go help the king.
Stuff, go to get a bath, and then chat with the king.
Well, you're free to end your bath whenever you want to end your bath.
Yeah, I think after like an hour at most, Tong would be done.
I just imagine like Tom just like sinking in the water. Just like, don't talk to me. I'm soaking.
Meanwhile, Erdan would be doing his equivalent of the polar challenge by first sitting in the hot tub and then going directly into the ice.
Polar plunge!
I want you to give me a constitution save when you do that. Let's see how you handle it.
Like, wait a minute, I finally get to do this, and I don't have to wait for the correct weather!
Huh?
Okay, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Constitution,
You're making me nervous.
That's an 8. 5. No, that's a 9. Sorry, 9. I miscounted.
So, Tong, you're like soaking in there, and you're like, oh, this is nice. And then you hear this this squeal, and you're just like, Erdan? That sounded like Erdan. And he's like trying to get himself in there, but certain extremities are really unhappy with him right now.
Erdan is absolutely gritting his teeth to just not immediately fall in. And just keep going lower.
stultus.
It's fine, it's fine. And your teeth are just.
And he just lets go. Like, okay, I can't lower myself anymore.
I was gonna say I give it a 40-60 chance the tongue pushes him in. Not likely, but likely enough.
Oh, we're getting the percentile.
What was the percentage you gave?
40-60.
23.
She just shakes her head and is like, whatever. Suffer. You do manage to get out. Anything that is not like directly part of your core is definitely numb.
Like once Ern's done, he immediately goes back into like into warmer water again. It's like, yep, need to do that every once in a while. Apparently, it's been 7 years.
7 years. I haven't done that since I was at home where the water's actually cold.
Yeah, just thinking that Ern like, immediately goes to go into the hot water of the tongue. Just like, no, lukewarm water. You'll go into shock.
I'll be fine.
Care to test this?
Yes.
Alright. You do get in the hot water, I'm going to have a constitution save again, but at disadvantage.
Okay. Honestly, I rolled ridiculously low for that con save. My con saves are actually okay.
At least he's not
plus
trying
7,
to hook himself.
so 22. That
You
is on
take
disadvantage.
You take it slowly because you are aware that Tong is in fact correct, and if you were to just hop right back in, you would go into shock, and that could be bad. So you're just like, I'm gonna ease myself back in there, and you start getting that tingly feeling you get when you've been lying on your arm and you've cut the blood supply off. So all of those extremities that were numb are now tingling. Now it kind of feels like you have to pee, but you're pretty sure it's just the tingling.
Yeah, just kind of laying there, like trying to at least be okay with the experience, and it sounds like it feels like I can still feel the toes I lost. It's weird.
Phantom pain.
Phantom limbs. You like wiggle your toes, and you swear that those missing toes are wiggling too.
So this is what happens when I fix my blood supply.
Like, whoa, weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, after
that, Ern leaves with Tong.
All right. Are you gonna let Tong know what your plans are, or are you just gonna head off?
Yeah, actually, like as they're leaving, Ern will just turn to Tong. He's like, "So, do you have any other plans you're thinking of doing, or is that it?"
That was all I had planned on doing. Thinking about going back.
You don't enjoy royalty, do you?
I have had enough nobility for the past 2 days.
I get that.
Is Breena anywhere in the vicinity?
Past there, maybe. I don't know. I know I'm still wandering, but probably I'm assuming that I would have wandered towards the area. Like I can see that being a thing.
Give me a perception.
Me?
No, Tong.
Yeah, Gausha. Help action. Since we're no longer inside the bathhouse, you can give the help action. Perception, 15.
You don't see anyone who looks like Breena wandering around? You do see Circumference. Because why not? He seems to be testing out the local cuisine. And enjoying himself immensely.
Nope. No, I think I'll just head back to the house and do some writing.
That sounds good. I'm glad we did this. You seem to be generally standoffish around a lot of people, so I'm glad you at least did something with someone else.
Only because you were following me.
That was a bit of an accident.
Yeah. Just so you know, it wasn't my choice. As she begins walking off, she stops and turns back. I have my reasons for thinking the way I do. Many have called it paranoia. Perhaps that's true. But what would caution be without a little paranoia? And she continues walking back to the house.
Just leave it be.
Yep, Ern could say a few things. He's gonna choose not to, and instead take the few things he did bring to the bath and head off to the most official looking location he can find in hopes to see if the king's over there.
So
Do I like pass? Does Erdan pass by me as I'm wandering around town?
yes, he does. Just on parts of your vision.
You probably see him munching on a baguette while walking by.
Wet hair.
I'll jog after him.
Okay.
Erdan.
Oh, hi, Breena.
Okay, there's really weird stories going around town. Like, people feel like they're forgetting things, weird dreams where they had hatred for people but woke up and it was gone, but they feel like they've lost part of themselves. It just sounds like what happened to us, and I'm worried. They said that the king was sick, right?
Yes.
You think that would have anything to do with what I'm overhearing in town?
Well, I have been hearing a few similar stories at the bathhouse. Forgetting stuff.
What kind of things have the people you've been hearing what are they forgetting?
Like how many years ago things happened, anniversaries, birthdays. Also,
So important things.
They forgot their entire wedding. Like they couldn't remember who attended or if they had food.
Okay, these are important things.
Yes, they are. It's actually kind of concerning.
Erdan is concerned in the fascinated sort of way, and Breena is concerned in the worried and anxious sort of way.
Is there anything similar about the memory loss, or was it just just things? As far as you could tell.
There were several old men that were thinking that they never used to let outsiders into their city and that they used to hate them. But one of them was pretty sure that they used to hate outside people, never let them in. But then another was pretty sure that he's never hated anybody other than his mother-in-law. And the kid that got on his lawn, the one that was talking about outside people coming in and that not being a thing, that makes me a little bit more worried since we are the outside people here. I haven't actually, have we seen any other people that don't look like they belong? Like any other outsiders that we would be able to tell are kind of like us and don't belong here?
A few. There's not a ton of them. You've seen what might be dwarves. You've seen some people who are about the same size as you that have stone-colored skin. But aside from that, it's pretty much primarily the fairy folk.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on, but it sounds very much like what happened to us.
No,
Or,
because
or maybe along similar lines, like the whole memory thing.
well, for us it was we had everything taken away and then we had fake memories put in, and I don't know about you, but those fake ones were a lot more thorough. Like I can still remember a lot of the big event stuff.
Good point. I still don't think it's. I still think there's something going on that's not right. Because why would people forgetting the important days or important character traits? I heard somebody wondering if they had a brother or that they were making it up. Like, how would you forget that you had a brother?
That's pretty important.
Easy. You choose to forget you have a brother.
Then somebody who actually has brothers.
Sometimes you want to forget them. They're annoying, they smell.
Yeah, this sounds like a great conversation that the original party members could get into great depth, but too bad Rada isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Well, I mean, it sounds. I mean, at least the guards mentioned that the king had something going on with him as well. So they seem to say it was more bodily, I guess, than memory, but they also didn't elaborate. So it might be unique, unless, of course, he's forgetting just about everything,
Yeah.
and it's a symptom
Do
of,
I have
I guess, the area.
Jen? Do I have any knowledge of the Fisher King from being from the other world?
I mean, you can roll an intelligence check, but it's going to be a really high DC because you're from the other side of the world.
Mm-hmm. Intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a 9.
No, you're not even entirely sure if you've actually heard of him or if you've heard stories of other Fisher Kings that are more related to your people.
Oh no,
You know, this
Mhm.
guy was an amazing fisherman, so they called him the Fisher King.
oh no, she's been
Yeah.
affected by the same curse.
Thanks. I don't know anything about the Fisher King here, and if I have heard of a Fisher King, it probably was something closer to my culture, since home is not near here. But where are you headed?
Oh, I'm just going to that really important looking section right there. You know, the mostly decorative.
With all the guards standing in front of it.
Yeah. Like, that seems to be a very important place, so it's either a bank or it's where the king is.
I'm going to bed. Night, y'all.
Night.
Night.
Right, Megan.
Night.
Erdan, if you needed a bank, you know I have my jar of dirt and you can borrow it. But
Oh no, I know. You know, I should probably look into doing that because. Oh. Yeah, Thunderclap's been holding on to several things now. He has all those arrowheads he picked up. Now he has all my money. He's been going through a lot. I should probably clean him.
Erdan, you could have just done some money exchange with the bank. You wouldn't have needed to pay in pennies.
Remember, wise, not smart.
Yes. Basically, yeah, like Ern was not exact. Ern brought 1 silver specifically for if there's some big ticket item that he sees that he can't immediately go back and get more money for, then he'll do it. But he brought pennies because that's what you pay for like street food.
You're not wrong.
if you're
They
gonna
gotta
go
maintain
try
those
Hey,
bathhouses.
what?
They gotta maintain those bathhouses.
If you're going to go try and see the king, I wonder if we should grab Rada, and we can inform her of the weirdness that's been going around. Have you seen Tom?
I think we can leave Rada. I think she needs a break, and Tong went back.
Okay. Well, I dropped Idaea off at the craftsman's area, so we won't see her for. Oh, who knows when we'll see her again.
So it went well. Okay. I was a
She-
little worried they might be a little defensive.
Herself, though, like the gentleman that greeted us there was not keen on teaching her anything, and wasn't impressed by her amulet or the wild necklace. Like, wasn't really impressed. But I think he perked up when she said free labor.
Huh.
She had to prove
There you go,
herself
then.
able to learn. So, like I said,
That
I don't
makes
know when
sense.
we'll see her again.
I mean, what the people that are hosting us, the husband is over there, right?
Yes, Elwyn's the one teaching her.
Oh, so we might see her for dinner. There's a good chance of that.
I think that's probably the only way we'll actually see her for dinner. Is because I'm assuming that he will actually come home and drag her with him. Or she might willingly follow because he's the one teaching her. So yeah. His boss I don't know if his boss actually knew that or if he just guessed or if he actually had no clue and just wanted to toss her at Dylan.
Coincidences happen all the time.
The art party?
I was mostly speaking from experience, but now that I think about it,
I think I want to say at this point, Breena, you'll get a message from Ross saying, I can only meditate for so long. What's everyone else doing?
how did Rada know?
She's been meditating for an hour.
Like, since Erdan isn't akin to that message, I'm guessing because she sent it to me. Mama Rada strikes again. So,
We
Aaron,
haven't even done anything yet.
Get
Parental
me in
No.
trouble. I
intuition.
haven't done anything yet.
It's parental intuition. They just know when their children are doing things.
she wanted to know what everybody else was doing because apparently she can only meditate for so long. When it comes to that, I can just send a message back, right? Or do I need to use message myself?
You can respond.
You can
Thank
respond.
you. Well, Tong went back to the house. Idaea is with the craftsman. I'm not exactly sure where Circumference and Tooth are, but Erdan and I are currently discussing the very weirdness of people forgetting major events in their life in this town. And Erdan was going to go see if he could help with the Fisher King, and I had just about ready to come find you.
It's like,
No, I did the stop like that is definitely 25 words.
Yeah, I would just
Oh.
Like the spell has run out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I suppose we'll have to go back over the video to see where that cuts off.
honestly, it probably cuts off at probably halfway through that memory talk.
Breena has not yet learned the art of saying more with less.
I, as a player, have. It's not in role play. I'm not very good at that.
Unlike others with message, Breena
Yeah.
is I will take way too many words.
To be fair, it's not like Brina's actually a magician of any sort. So she has no reason to know that it's only 25 words. She could keep babbling all she wants. She doesn't know how much of the message went through. She can assume it all went through.
She probably doesn't even know that there was a word limit.
Doubtful.
Like Ern's listening to Breena explain the situation. He waits at the end like, okay, so
About a word
she
limit.
definitely didn't get all that.
You have to see a character for message. I'm pretty sure she used sending.
Breena has message, but she doesn't have sending. And so I think for her, she's just probably mixing up the two spells, probably.
It could be that.
Yeah,
Bard words are important. For the,
Yeah, exactly. Words
yeah.
important. Plus, I'm also trying to give an update on everybody.
Yeah, so Rada, it stops at like weird memory. And then you're like,
Erdan probably understands the limits of the limits of the spells. He's sending to Erdan. He's like, heard about memory loss issue? Need help? Can only meditate for so long.
Hot milk.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Like Ern stops and like turns to Ray like, okay, I got a message now.
Didn't she get mine?
Yes, but it stopped at the word memory.
Oh, there's a word limit.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Town forgetting big events. Everybody but party seemingly affected. Me and Breena are heading to Fisher King to gain info and help with medical issue. 25 exactly.
You're good at that.
Thank you.
I also just noticed that he used
Yeah. Like, you use your ring finger left on your right hand. You don't do it on your left, but like because you're like 1, 2, or like 3, 4, and then 5. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, there's a weird thing with my this ring finger where the tendons or muscles or something just act completely differently. Like there are normal things I can do with this hand that are stopped because this one can't bend in a certain way.
Interesting.
More you know.
People
One
are
of the
weird.
more unique methods of counting that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's what Rada gets.
Well, that wasn't a explicit like, yeah, we got this covered. It's like the kids need supervision.
Like Erdan, Breena, and I guess Taliesin by extension. Nope, not good enough.
I think she trusts Taliesin, but she also knows the physical limitations that he has because he is a drum. And I think she trusts. Well, I would hope Rada trusts Breena, but also knows that she is small and can't always help as much as she would like to.
She knows that Breena
And
has her limits, and those are,
yeah,
and that's a low bar.
And that Erdan's a bit bullheaded.
is that a short joke?
Yes. So since it's not a, yeah, we got this covered, it's a, they need adult supervision.
Yeah, Erdan actually pulls Breena out to the side, like, all right, let's wait for her to get over here.
Did she say
Like, yeah,
she
she's
was
coming. Doesn't take very long, partially because Rada, moves pretty quickly, and partially because Rada can see everything.
That's a perception queen.
I don't know. Is there like time for me and Breena to like get a kebab or something?
Love it.
These are kebabs because they're like opalescent.
Oh, it's like rock candy.
You,
okay. Oh.
It's actually quite succulent. Melts in your mouth and all of this. It's definitely sweet. It's like a sweet meat and sweet vegetables. You're not entirely sure. Breena, these are definitely like related to bell peppers, whatever they are.
Okay.
Bell peppers.
Claire does not like bell peppers.
Neither do I.
Like peppers.
You want to give me a sweet pepper? Give me some sort of green chili. But yeah, so what? Yeah, if you get the mild stuff, it's sweet. If you kick it up, then it starts to get a little zing to it. Anaheim are kind of the same way.
I just don't do peppers, period. Including seasoning pepper. Like, I don't use it unless Dominic put it in something. Like, it's peppers, no.
Black pepper is the most spice I'm allowed to use with her. It's very sad.
I'm sorry.
Well, I've discovered the further north you live, the less tolerant and the less people like peppers. But they're really hard to grow up north, and they don't do well, so I'll say it's a product of your raising.
We won't
yeah,
mention how much he feels about
also
peppers.
like it looks like chunks of rock or something, but it melts like chocolate in your mouth, and it's sweet, but it's not chocolate. And it almost has this like clay consistency. It's really weird. It tastes really good.
Like, I'm just like looking at this kebab, like, what am I eating? It's good, but what am I eating?
Like Erdan has the expression of, I have no idea what this is, but this is good.
Like, I'm assuming that I could ask the kebab seller?
Yeah.
Kebab merchant?
You can ask them.
Excuse, this is very good. What is it?
So the meat is diamond toad, and
Nice.
We figured out what they
the
them.
and then
When it's not eating.
those are glass isle peppers, and that's sugared case bar.
Sugar case bar?
Yes, it's a good source of potassium.
Oh. I never would have thought the diamond toad would be that tasty.
Don't give me that look. That would be really funny. Case bar is potassium, feldspar is the pink stuff in granite.
I was just thinking case bar, like, K. Is that K as in like potassium?
Something I said is a good source of potassium. Oh, it's a shame Eric missed tonight. He's gonna be. I should probably put that in quotes so you can see it.
Please do.
Okay, yeah, it's funny.
Okay. So,
I had to let myself like it.
Thank you. The diamond toad is tastier than expected. We had an encounter with one on our way here.
Oh, and you survived. Congrats.
I have a feeling that is not meant to be sarcastic. Yeah, that is not meant to be sarcastic. That is actually
through a mouthful. It just says, "Now we know what to do the next time we see one."
barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so wait, Tom's fire will be useful for it?
Idaea could probably be convinced to help.
You know what? This is great. If we do run into another one of these, Tom's gonna be so happy because she can just fireball the dang thing.
Mm-hmm.
Breena continues eating her kebab.
That guy is just like, okay. All right, so after you get your kebab,
Outsiders.
Rada will join you.
Rada!
Are we enjoying ourselves?
Yes,
Oh,
it's actually
quite
really
good.
good.
Your hair is shinier than usual. Did you take a bath recently?
Yes. We were going to meet a king that I have no opinion on, so I thought I'd at least try and look better.
Alright, so explain to me the situation as we go up.
I was wandering around town after dropping off Idaea at the craftsman. We happen to know. Did my brain just forget the name? Elwyn, our host, is taking care of teaching Idaea all the stuff that she wants to know. So, because he's the one teaching her, we might actually see her for real. But as I was wandering around town, just getting like I overheard some teenagers that they were talking about weird dreams that they were having, and how in one of the dreams they had like this intense hatred for somebody, and then it was gone when they woke up, but they felt like they had lost something. and just couldn't remember something, couldn't remember if they went to all their classes. It's almost like you went to a class, there was a test, but you didn't study, and you just don't remember anything. And then there were some very old gentlemen, like they actually looked old. Most of the people here don't look old, but they looked old. And not to be rude, they just looked old. And they were talking about how they, in the old days, that they didn't let outsiders into the city and how they hated outsiders. But then one of the other gentlemen thought that they had never hated anybody other than their mother-in-law, and so, or the kids that got on their lawn. So just a lot of confusion. Like people can't remember birthdays, or that they feel like they're forgetting something, whether it's something important, like if they've gone to all their classes that day or their birthday, or whether it's a shopping list. I mean, Erdan said that there was a couple that couldn't remember when they got married. Like they couldn't remember their anniversary. They couldn't remember anything about the day. Like those are things that people remember. And so I know that the guard at the front had said that the Fisher King was ill, and so I was wondering if maybe that was connected. It reminded me of what had happened to us with the memory thing, even though Eric made a very good point in that it's not actually the same. That made me worry. And I don't know where Tooth and Circumference are. Tongue, I know
I
when.
saw Circumference eating somewhere in town.
Oh, okay. But I guess wherever Tooth is, we'll probably find him by seeing whoever has rocks in their shoes. You got Idaea before we left.
So we don't know where Tooth is. Where did you say Tongue was?
She
She
went
went
back to
back
the
to the coast.
Codwallers.
Now, I'm not the DM, so I have no control over when we do or do not end, but it is getting nigh till.
Yeah, I want to a point where we could end where it's not awkward.
We make it to the front gates.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. Like
Yeah,
we've up
that's
Rada
correct.
and did to the front gates.
So if we're at the front gates, that is where we'll end. So you've kind of caught Rada up just as you get to the gates.
Mhm.
And we'll pick up there on Wednesday.